This is Beverly Buncher, the founder and creator of the BALM Family Program, and I want to welcome you to this introductory webinar. We have a series of webinars that we are creating, and this series, they're sort of pre-BALM webinars. So what we find is families come to this original webinar and they like what they hear, they sign up for the BALM, they keep coming to these every other Tuesday night webinars to strengthen themselves. These webinars give you in a nutshell the beginnings of what you need to attain BALM recovery. And one of the key things that a person needs to know is that families have a vital role to play in recovery. And so tonight, that's what we're going to talk about. So a person comes into family recovery or into knowledge that their loved one has a problem, and they say, this is not my problem. This is their problem. What am I even doing here? The chances are this problem that your family is facing is bigger than you think it is. And often families face the fact that it's not just one person, but many people in a family through generations who have been hit by this devastating malady. In fact, use disorders affect families through time and often through generations. At the same time, it's not completely out of our hands. We didn't cause it, we can't control it, and we can't cure it. But we're always contributing to either our loved one's use disorder or their recovery. So how does a family contribute? Well, they contribute by what they say and how they say it, what they don't say, what they do, how they do it, and what they don't do. That's just about every possible way. In the BALM, we help teach you which of those words and behaviors can help your loved one attain and sustain recovery, and which ones won't. Here are some things we know. In general, people don't like to be told what to do. I don't. Do you? And then if you couple that natural dislike of being told what to do with a hijacked brain that a person with a use disorder has, that is often a recipe for disaster. People with hijacked brains often have impaired judgments, and they think, I'm making a blanket statement now, often they'll feel that they know everything, they've got this, and it's difficult for us as family members not to assume that we've got it, that we know what's best. And yet, even when we're right, that doesn't always mean things are going to go our way. And here's the little secret. You can know things and not have to spill it all out at once. And you can also know things and share it in ways that are really going to help and in ways that are really going to hurt. And if nothing changes from the way you've been communicating with your loved one, chances are nothing will change. So at this point, I'd like to welcome you to BALM, the loving path to family recovery. We invite you to open your mind to a new perspective. And it all starts with loving respect for yourself and for your loved one. And yes, I know it's possible that you're here tonight because your loved one's behavior has not felt like something worthy of respect. And we're telling you that we're not respecting the behavior. We're respecting the human being with the hijacked brain who has been doing that behavior. So why consider a loving path? After all, It's tough. This is awful. They're behaving badly. Why should I be loving? BALM is a program filled with evidence-based practices. In other words, these are practices that we know from research to work, to give your loved one the best chance of recovery, the best chance of unhijacking that brain. And we have a two-pronged focus. We're not only about you helping them, we're about helping you get your life back and help them get their life back too. And we're not about us helping them, we're about us showing you how to help them get their life back. We're not suggesting that we are a replacement for your loved one's treatment. Far from it. We partner with treatment centers. We send families, loved ones to treatment centers every day. And we believe in the power of getting help. At the same time, we know that there are a lot of people out there telling you, you take care of you and we'll take care of him and you don't have a role here. Or leave me alone. My sponsor says this is my recovery. And what we're saying to you is you can experience an attitudinal shift, a total change in perspective that will allow you to put yourself and your recovery first. And at the same time, be there in ways that are powerful recovery encouragers. And the fact is that when you experience that attitudinal shift and you get well, your loved one has a much better chance of recovery. That's why we invite you to our loving path. And this series of webinars are really an invitation to change your family tree. So we invite you to come to these intro sessions. They're held every other Tuesday. On the opposite Tuesdays, we have coach training intros because we also have a coach training school at the BALM Institute. We invite you to read the book, BALM, The Loving Path to Family Recovery, and you can find that either on Amazon or on our website. And to consider participating in our year-long online BALM Family Recovery Program. I see that some people who are here are already enrolled. Wow, you have a treasure trove. I do hope you're taking advantage of it. If you're not yet enrolled, you'll want to talk to Tracy after this call or to the person who sent you here about how you can enroll. So let's talk about this attitudinal shift. What the heck am I talking about? There are 4 foundational ideas that we really want you to understand as a family member in the BALM. Number 1, you have a role, an important role to play in your loved one's recovery. Number 2, your loved one can change, and so can you. Number 3, let go of control. Don't let go of them in the sense of let go. No. Let go of controlling them so that you can really be helpful. And number 4, you can be your loved one's best chance at recovery. And we're going to show you how. So today's focus is the first principle of the attitudinal shift. You have a vital role to play in your loved one's recovery. When you play that role, you can make a real difference in your loved one's life. So here are some ways to play that role. The first one is to drop expectations. The second, focus on you. The third, use leverage. The fourth, set boundaries. The fifth, get support. And the sixth, walk the loving path. So let's talk about what it means to drop expectations. You know, we all have this dream. He's going to go through treatment. She's going to go through treatment. They're going to come home, new person. Everything's perfect. We're going to go on family outings. We'll have a lot of time together. We're going to have more money in the bank because they're going to be working. Lots of apologies. Oh, I'm going to get apologized to all day long. I'm going to get help around the house. She's going to have high energy. It's going to be heaven on earth. Sorry, guys. Chances are that may not all be true in year one of recovery. On the other hand, we have fears. We have lots of fears. What if they meet someone new and leave us? What if they leave treatment early? What if they don't go to meetings? What if they go to too many meetings? What if the family goes bankrupt? What if they relapse? Or what if they are in a relapse and it doesn't end? What if we fall apart? What if we stay together and we're miserable? So we invite you in the BALM to simply face reality. Any of the good and any of the bad could happen. You need to know that substance use disorder is a chronic, recurring malady. That when somebody is new in recovery, if they are taking it seriously, they are sobriety driven. They want recovery. They get it, that they have to do whatever it takes. And so they're very preoccupied, often unapologetic. They may have new friends. You may be lonely, or they may struggle. But here's the thing, you don't have to. So the next of these tips that we've been talking about is to focus on yourself. Why? You know, there will be times when your loved one and your other family members will need your help. It's just part of life. We're interdependent beings, we humans. When you focus on yourself in a healthy way, you know which rope to throw to yourself, to your loved one, to your family. When you're not focused on yourself and you're all caught up in the craziness, you're just throwing willy-nilly whatever you can get your hands on, and you're not as helpful. Remember the 7 C's of Be a Loving Mirror. The first one, of course, you didn't cause it. You can't control it, number 2. You can't cure it, number 3. But when you remember the 7 C's, you won't contribute to the use disorder. That's the 4th C. You'll remember that you're connected. You'll learn how to communicate. The BALM will teach you how. And you'll remember that you're always at choice. And as you get healthier and stronger, you will make better and better choices. Self-care in the BALM is multifaceted. We talk about physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health care. And of course, all of self-care, and of course, all of these things I've been talking about are gone into in much greater detail when you're in the year-long BALM program. This is an overview to give you an idea of what's in store for you and to sort of help you get situated in your part of this. Leverage is another important tool that families learn in the BALM. And you know, leverage is the exertion of force by means of a lever, or an object used in the manner of a lever. And leverage is a negotiation you engage with your loved one, often with the help of treatment professionals or other professionals if your loved one isn't in treatment. Leverage is critical. You're going to learn how to use it, when to use it, who to use it with, and when not to use it. So why use leverage? You know, when your loved one is in treatment, that's the beginning of their process, not the cure. And the longer a loved one is engaged in getting help, the better their chances of staying in recovery. So when you apply leverage, you're supporting the ongoing help, support, and continued care through the venues the treatment center suggests, such as, what are some of those venues? They may suggest a sober living environment. They may suggest a sober coach or a sober companion. They may suggest 90 meetings in 90 days. we know that the longer a person with a use disorder is engaged in some sort of treatment process, the better their chances of getting and staying well. And that's the same for you, by the way. That's why the BALM is a full year program. So when you use leverage, your loved one wants to come home. They want to be back in the family. They want what they want when they want it. And they know that what they've done could result in their losing everything. When you use leverage in a healthy way, most often with the help of professionals, whether that professional is an interventionist or if they're in treatment with a treatment professional or with their coach or your coach. When you use leverage, you, with the professionals, figure out what it is that would be the best thing, best next step for your loved one. And you know what they want. And so in exchange for what they want, they need to do these important things that are going to help them get better. That is using leverage. You'll learn more about this in BALM and with your BALM coach. Another important tool that you'll learn how to use is boundaries. Boundaries are not what we just talked about, where you're trying to change your loved one. Boundaries are a way of protecting your needs and your desires. Boundaries are a way of allowing yourself space in the middle of chaos. Is your loved one coming in at 3 a.m. and banging pots and pans and you have to be at work at 8? A boundary could be, sweetheart, I love you. And I have to be at work at 8 a.m. So at midnight, I put the second lock on the front and back doors and you won't be able to come in. And I love you so much. Please respect my needs. A boundary can come after many BALM conversations where you've just said, hey, it's not working for me that you're coming in at 3. And finally, it hasn't helped. And oftentimes it will help, but let's say it didn't help, and then you set the boundary. Sometimes boundaries need to be set quickly with a loved one, and sometimes you can use the drip method of BALM conversations and eventually add a boundary. You'll learn all about this in the BALM. It's really important to get support, to educate yourself. We have 12 principles with hundreds of recordings of interviews with experts, and you want to educate yourself and change your perspective. It's really important that you find supportive friends and colleagues and helpers to help you walk the loving path. Perhaps you need a coach. If that's the case, we have wonderful coaches in the BALM program, in the BALM company, who can be here and work with you as you work your way through the BALM. In addition, if you're in the BALM, 2 days a week, there's group coaching as part of your online program that you can take advantage of. So there are all kinds of options. We invite you to focus on being a person of great wisdom and inner strength. Why? Because you need it. And your loved one needs it. The BALM program will give you that wisdom. You can decide to be the peace you wish to see in the world. Now is the time to get strong. In addition to our 12 principles, we have 7 steps to be a loving mirror. And we always say that these light the way to inner transformation for family and loved ones. Steps 1, 2, and 3 are inner transformation. And that's where we focus on mindfulness, objective observation, and emotional awareness without judgment. Steps 4 through 7, outer transformation. This is where you document what your loved one does and says. You script a loving conversation. You have that loving conversation, and if necessary, you set a boundary. The first 3 are about self-transformation, and they are the steps of a lifetime. Simultaneously to working those 3 steps, BALMers learn 4 through 7 so that they can not only be doing the things to uplift themselves, but also be learning new ways to communicate, that are most helpful to their loved one and their family. We invite you to consider this series of webinars an invitation to change your family tree. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Come to these intro sessions, learn all you can, read the book BALM, The Loving Path to Family Recovery. Many of our coaches and families study it like a textbook. There's so much in it. And participate in the online BALM Family Recovery Program, a full year of classes, up to 8 every week, that will help you learn to become your loved one's best chance at recovery. For more information on how to enroll in the BALM program or how to come to the upcoming retreat, which is the BALM 7 Steps retreat, where we will dive experientially into those 7 steps for a weekend in October, speak with the person who sent you to this webinar. We are here for you, and we know that this program has helped thousands of families, and it can help you. We can't guarantee that your loved one will get well if you work the BALM program, but we will guarantee that you will get well and you will be your loved one's best chance at recovery. And with that, I invite everybody to put on their cameras if they'd like to and join a conversation. We will turn off the recording and answer any questions you may have at this time.